Howdy, Rebel fans. Welcome to episode 16 of the Rebel Nation Conversation. I am Rebelfan69. My co-host is the Metal Rep. Together we make up the Rebel Nation Conversation podcast, your one-stop shop for uninformed and non-expert Ole Miss conversation.
Unsullied by sponsorship since 2025.
Again, if you're watching us on the YouTube channel, you already know where to be. For those catching us on TikTok, be sure to come to our YouTube channel. It's right up there in that link. That's at youtube.com/@the-RN-Convo. Metal, let's kind of start this week out a little different than normal. Let's start out with the national championship games. That way we can, when we switch to Ole Miss, we just stay there. How you think?
Sounds good to me. We're a little bit late, I guess, on our assessment of the game, but still, we'll put our 2 cents in.
Well, me, pretty much, just Indiana wins the national championship for the 25-26 college football season. Scored 27-21. I honestly got it wrong. I predicted a 2-score win for the Hoosiers. That did not happen at all. Metal, you watched it. Break it down. Were the Hoosiers ever in danger of actually losing?
It never felt like that they were going to lose the game to me. Miami's good, man. They're really good. They played pretty well. They were strong on the line of scrimmage, and they were right there. They took it to them, but it was, again, I never felt like the outcome was in danger. Indiana led the whole game, and they were the better team. So if anybody tells you the best team didn't win, that's not correct. Best team won the game. I thought Indiana got once they built their lead, and it the game settled in, and they had the lead, and they had kind of control of the game for the most part. I felt like they went maybe a little bit conservative. And I haven't watched them a whole lot. I don't know. Maybe that's what they do. Maybe that's their thing. But once they took control of the game early, they just kind of settled in. And I haven't watched them a whole bunch, but when I do watch them, nothing is going to jump off the screen at you. Like they don't dazzle you. They don't dazzle you, man. They're not going to dazzle you. But I tell you one thing they are not going to do. They are not going to beat themselves.
They're not going to make mistakes.
They don't do anything poor. Like they're good at everything. Yeah. And I've heard people say this. I know you've heard it said too, but they may be the best coached team I've seen in a long time, man. They're just impressive. 16-0.
Yeah. Well, me and you predicted. Not predicted it, but me and you praised Cignetti all season. Obviously, we feel like he's a damn good football coach. I like his, like you talking about, his money ball type approach. He may not have. Mm-hmm. It's not like he goes out and gets the superstars, but he builds a unit. An aggregate type unit that just works. It works good together, and like you said, fundamentally sound. They're not going to make mistakes, and you're going to have to beat them. It kind of reminds me of the, let's say the 2012 through 13, 14 teams of Alabama. Not that
Yeah.
Alabama wasn't making big plays and stuff back then, kind of dazzling you at times, but the main thing was they would never make mistakes. They just lull your ass into you making them. And when you made them, they'd pounce all over you, and and that's kind of what it reminds me of.
Yeah, I mean, the difference is Alabama had 5 stars everywhere. And one thing about his recruiting style, whether it's out of the portal, high school, whatever, but particularly from the portal, the way he recruits is he says he does not care about potential. I don't care about potential. He said, I go by production. If I have already seen you produce, even if it was at a smaller school, a different level, you've shown me that you can produce given the opportunities. And that's what he looks for. And that's what he goes after. If it's somebody that can be good, but no one's seen it yet, he's staying away from that guy. And that's quite a bit different than some of the other coaches that I've seen, you know.
Well, yeah, but you think about it. Uh, if you're going to spend this money, this rev share, this NIL, if you're spending that type of money on them, it's gonna. You can't afford to miss nowadays. You got to be a. So I mean, I can see his point. If I'm gonna, I'm not looking at his budget right now. I'm just saying, but if you're going to go after a kid, you don't. I mean, you can't afford for him to be a bust if you're going to pay him $750,000.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what their budget is for NIL at Indiana, but I get the feeling that it's probably not near the top of NIL budgets across the country. And the reason I say that is because they're not over there loaded with very sought after players that everybody and their brother wanted.
Well, again, if that would even make it more important to make sure the kid is proven entity, not a what it could be, but he's already shown he is a proven entity.
Yeah.
I would think if you only got set amount of funds to spend, you damn sure can't spend it on a project.
Yeah. Well, I don't think they're limited in what they can spend. I mean, they've got Mark Cuban and a lot of others over there. So I don't think it's that they don't have the money. I think they've just been very selective still, even with the resources. They have
I
not been
mean,
reckless over there, and it works.
shoot. Uh-oh.
You
There you
good?
are. Yeah, I'm here. Did you see me?
Yeah, there was a flash or a glitch or something for a second, but
Yeah.
I got you now.
All right. Well, I ain't saying, Cuban though has always been more the basketball guy anyway, right?
Oh yeah,
And with Indiana being more the basketball school, you could kind of see that's what was going to happen. But now that they've shown they damn sure play football, I expect him to start. I mean, it ain't like he's going to go broke. He can write him a
yeah,
$35 million check, and I've seen something the other day, and I don't know if it's true. Maybe you read it. An ungodly amount for Mendoza to come back for one more year, like $35 million. I don't know how he can get that through the NCAA clearinghouse next year because rev share
yeah.
begins. But I mean, he's got so many companies he should be able to figure it out. We're going to pay him
Yeah,
35. I got 35
he's
companies, $1 million a piece for commercials. And get that through the
yeah,
clearinghouse. But
yeah. No
it,
kidding.
it's a lot of money. I think. I honestly, it was in the 30 million range, somewhere around there. Ain't got the number in front of me, but I did see
Yeah,
something like that. Well, other than that, though, yeah, and like you said, Miami's a good football team. We found that out. I feel like their defense is absolutely legit, and I mean, they held it to us inside of a touchdown win. But with me, my heart just wasn't in it. I came home from work that day. I got on there, and I said I had all intent, rights, and purposes to watch that game. And I sat down and started eating my supper, and I sat there and I kept watching the pregame stuff, and I was going, man, stuff. I just don't care to watch it. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't care about either team. I hope Indiana wins, but I can wake up in the morning and find out. But then texting with you said, the first half was only like 10-0, but he says, well, what you said in the actual text message, he said it should have been a whole lot worse. Indiana was in 100% control of the first half. So.
Yeah, they were in control, man. And if it had been any other team in the country other than Indiana, I probably wouldn't have watched it. But being it was them and, their story being what it is, I want to see if they could see this thing through. We both said weeks ago that if Ole Miss didn't win this thing, we wanted them to win it.
Yep.
So I decided to watch it.
I wanted them to win it just on that Cinderella story type thing.
Yeah.
The 72nd.
What a story, man.
The 72nd composite ranking roster goes completely undefeated.
Herb Street said it, and I don't think it's overstating it. He said that it's one of the more remarkable stories we've ever seen in college football. I agree with him.
I do too, 100%.
Their program was utter trash for decades.
Yep, except basketball. They've always been. That's just what they cared about. It's kind of like Kentucky, It was football was an afterthought. But
well, I saw something a few minutes ago that will take us into our next topic, which is Trinidad Chambliss. Mm-hmm. Miami just got a player cleared, a linebacker, Mohamed Torre, who will be in season number 8 for his college football career.
Now, I'll have to hunt that up and find out what where we got that.
Yeah, that's your homework, I guess, for the week if you want it. But yeah,
But that, like you said, that brings us.
But we can't get our guys a 6th season.
A 6th season when his first 4 was in Division 2.
Junior high.
But like you said, that brings us right into here. So Trinidad Chambliss news. As of now, we still don't have a ruling on the appeal. However, a suit was filed by Trinidad and his attorney, Tom Mars, for eligibility, claiming a significant loss of revenue. And I guess, from what I had seen, Mel, his draft projection was somewhere, the earliest it would possibly be would be late 3rd, but for most of the time it was most people saying the 4th and 5th rounds, a Sunday draftee. So that ain't even a guaranteed roster spot. You don't get a contract guaranteed to you. Only thing you get is a little signing bonus, and for a 4th and 5th rounder, you're not going to get that. So obviously he's going to make more to come back to Ole Miss. It would. I understand the significant loss of revenue. But did you listen to McCready and Palm on Monday, their Monday show, the Blue Sky show?
I haven't listened to Neil since.
Yeah, I know. Okay. Well, they brought up an interesting tidbit, and maybe you can figure this one out. Maybe you can hear about it. But they said,
I've got a question for you too. After you make this point, remind me.
Well, this is not really a point. They made the point, but McCready brought up that if the NCAA had granted eligibility on the original waiver request, that it would set precedent. But however, in the appeals process, it does not carry the weight of setting precedent. So the NCAA can deny the original waiver request so they do not set a precedent, and then grant the appeal because it doesn't set precedent, and they know they're going to lose in court. Why even fight it? So I don't know about that. I mean, I would have thought that any decision would set precedent, no matter if it was on appeal or not. But that's kind of odd. thought it was a good point.
Yeah, it is a good point. Explain to me how Trinidad Chambliss losing income, because if he's not there, obviously he's not participating in the NIL commerce. Why does that even matter? Because either a kid's eligible or he's not. Now,
I
I
mean, that
get
makes it
from the Ole Miss side, it works to our favor, that slant and going at it from that direction. But what difference does that make? I mean, you can't just say, I mean, if a kid's not eligible, you can't say, well, you got to let him play, even though he's not eligible. You got to let him play because he's not going to make money if he doesn't.
I get your point, but but they're literally claiming that he has eligibility left because he should have been granted a medical red shirt for 2022. Now, we all know that Division II did not have a red shirt rule until 24. So they have to apply the red shirt rule to give him a medical red shirt.
Yeah, and I get that, but that's
Right,
just an odd.
Well, and the courts
That,
are never, that's the thing about a court. Tom Mars is smart enough to know that the courts are never going to tell you can't make money. They're just not going to do it. And that's what basically they're saying. He's filing under those pretenses that, because they know the courts is not going to let the NCAA stop this kid from being able to make money. Whether it's right or wrong, we can argue that all day long. It's just a different world we live in, obviously. But I just feel like that's what Mars is doing. I feel like he's using that as a segue to get his case heard, which that brings us right into the next point I got here. If the answer is no to the appeal, the judge will grant an injunction. All right, this makes him 100%. This is the good part. 100% legally eligible to play. So Ole Miss would not be in any kind of bad spot 2 years from now when the case is finally heard and the judge rules against Chambliss. Ole Miss is covered because of the injunction. The injunction makes him legal. And we know the court case would not get heard for at least 2 years. Chancery Court does not get in any kind of hurry.
No. And that's not even a concern, like you said. The timing doesn't matter because we all know that it would be after the 2026 football season.
Right. After the season's up, well after that. And so what? So what if if they rule him ineligible then? We would still not we would not be in any wrong for playing him at all.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's no forfeiture of games or anything like that at risk.
I don't know how there's no way they could do it because Ole Miss was legally able to play him.
Yeah.
You know? In fact, I think we could be sued then if we didn't play him for the same purpose, a loss of income, right?
Okay, so with all of that being said, what you've just laid out, why should we explain to us, tell us why we should have why there should be any pause at all here? Like, in other words, in what world will Trinidad Chambliss not be our quarterback in 2026? Based on what you just said.
I don't see one. That's what I'm saying. After I listened to McCready and Palm's podcast on Monday morning, I literally just put it out of the back of my head. I said, the kid's going to play for Ole Miss next year. There's no doubt.
One of the shows before the one you're talking about, Chase all but said, listen, the only way he's not our quarterback in 2026 is if he decides he don't want to be.
Right. And that's where the draft stock comes in, right? He's not projected to go high enough.
No.
And quite honestly, after watching that Georgia game, me and you talked about it, it made him look like a pro quarterback. I don't know why his draft stock so low, but it is. I guess just because he hasn't had the repeat. I don't know. But anyway.
I don't understand it either, man. A complete season through SEC competition is a pretty good sample size, in my opinion. I've seen guys make a lot of money with a lot less data out there that was available. So I don't know.
No kidding.
It's good for us, though.
Yeah, good for us. I got one more little tidbit there. Did you see where they set the judge for the case?
Oh, yeah.
All right. What's cool
That's
is,
also
right,
good
the
for
judge,
us.
yeah, the judge, the case has been set, and he is an Ole Miss graduate. But that would be pretty much given if the judge is in the state of Mississippi, obviously. But wait, it gets better. The judge is
Our LSU friends say the judge should recuse himself.
Well,
like their judge would do in Louisiana,
yeah, just
right?
like their governor would stay out of the
right,
and stay out of getting a head coach or anything like that. Judge Robert Whitwell is of the Lafayette County Chancery Court. Now, that's funny right there. I mean, it's great.
Is funny.
But an Ole Miss graduate, but he does have a stellar reputation for judging by the law.
Yeah.
You know, letting the law speak for itself. So, I mean, he's got a stellar reputation. You can't tarnish that and do it. But anyway, all right, let's say he does recuse himself. Who you going to put in there that's not an Ole Miss graduate? You know, not in the state of Mississippi. And it's filed in Mississippi. It's filed by Tom Mars in the state of Mississippi for a purpose.
Well, it's going to be filed in Lafayette County.
Right. It's going to be filed in Lafayette County. And Chase and them went over that Monday, too. Why? There's some kind of a rule that as long as there is a member institution within the state that they're operating in, the NCAA is treated as if it is a citizen of that state. That's why they can be filed in the state of Mississippi.
Yeah.
Not federal court. So, I thought that was pretty interesting.
I just, you know, from the shots we've taken lately, I tend to look at worst case scenario. And worst case scenario, it still puts Trinidad Chambliss as our quarterback.
Yep. At least through the end of the season, and then we don't care after that.
And then it don't matter.
Unless we can get 8 seasons out of it. You got to watch this Miami case. You got to see how it goes.
Yep. Unless we get 8 seasons.
One thing I didn't send to you in that little deal today, but I kind of wanted to touch on it real quick, is the ending of the transfer portal there. As we were both afraid, Caden Lee ends up going to Missouri, and Principal Yaman Mielon to LSU. Now, that one's kind of a shock. I didn't think that LSU would lose $550,000 out of their rev share, and it does come out of their rev share. Don't add to ours, but it comes out of theirs.
Mm-hmm.
It don't automatically give us $21 million to spend, but it is money. It's money we can spend. Like Chase has been saying it all week. We can spend it on anything we want. They'll put it on coach's salary. We can do what we want with it.
So in that regard, it does add to ours.
It does not add to our rev share, but it adds to our kitty, what we have in our sports budget.
It adds to available funds for Ole Miss, which is all I care about. To me, that's adding. Rev share, I mean, it's just a matter of...
We just can't add it to the 20.5. The 20.5 is still...
Yeah, the 20.5, but still, it's money we can use to the greater good of Ole Miss. So,
I'm wondering if somehow Ole Miss couldn't just donate that $550 straight to the Grove Collective, and we could put it in NIL. I don't know if that's an avenue we could do. Can the school donate to collectives? I don't know if that's legal. Who knows?
I don't know.
Something to dive into later on.
Yeah.
But I know that a school athletic program can donate to academics, and there's a certain amount they can do. It's legal to do, but they can only do a certain amount. But they can. I mean, we all know that in most schools, not named Harvard and Yale and Princeton and stuff like that, the athletics the football program normally carries the whole university, in a public university especially.
Yeah.
It pays for academics. It pays for every bit of it. But anyway, I don't. At the end of the day, I'm not real sure. I mean, yeah, I'm going to miss Caden Lee, man. I really do. I like the way he was a tough kid. Always seemed to get open, and a lot of time, I mean, he was money. When the ball hit his hand, he caught it. He reminded me a lot. What was that player? I know you're the Ole Miss encyclopedia. His name was Carey. He was from Oxford. Wasn't a flashy receiver, but he was a possession receiver. Remember back in what was his name? Carey something or other. He was a
Kerry Johnson. Kerry Johnson.
You needed 9 yards. He went out there 10 yards, and he caught the ball. He was just that possession type receiver, and Caden Lee was a lot like that to me.
Yeah,
Wasn't the fastest guy on the team, but for somehow he always ended up open and would always catch the ball and took some hellacious hits. So I feel like we're gonna miss him. But at the end of the day, too, we still got a pretty good wide receiver room already, still on campus with Cunningham and all of that. But he didn't get a lot of playing time this year. But who are you going to take off the field to play a freshman?
Yeah.
But he's still there. And we brought in 4 wide receivers in the portal: Jonte Cook and Darrell Gill Jr. from Syracuse, Isaiah Spencer from Virginia Tech, and Cameron Miller from Kentucky. So I feel like we're going to still have a pretty decent, especially with Trinidad, we're going to have a pretty decent wide receiver room. And on Yamon Mielen, we brought in 3 edge rushers: at Blake Purchase from Oregon, Jordan Renaud from Alabama, and Jonathan Maldonado from Nevada. So I don't know, man. I mean, Yamon Mielen wasn't never an All-American. I mean, he was a solid player, but I think his brother was better. You know?
Oh, there's no doubt about that.
So I mean, I know you wanted to keep Caden Lee, but at the end, I still feel like Golden kind of saw it coming, and and he prepared for it. You know,
I think I just wanted to keep Caden Lee just from a stability standpoint at that position, because there is going to be so many new faces. It's not that he's some irreplaceable guy. You know, you can replace his production, but I just always felt like he was a good guy to have in the huddle, you know. And he knew the system. He knew, you know, what's what. Just a comfortability with him around. That's the things I looked at with him. But he chose not to stay here. He chose not to stay here. Now, I don't know what the money looks like with him. Did he get more money? Did he get a lot more money? See, those are things I don't know.
Yep.
If the money was anywhere near the same, that's pretty disappointing.
Yeah, it is. And, you know, it's due to his statement, you know, circumstances outside of my control. Well, you know, that's just total bullshit.
Yeah.
And, you know, to begin with, though, I felt like he wasn't going to go, because after listening to McCready and Chase the other day, you know, it seemed like it was all hinging on the decision for Trinidad Chambliss. And like me and you just said, I don't see any situation right now that keeps Trinidad from being our quarterback next year.
Yeah, but man, when are we going to learn? When people start waffling, they may stay, they may leave. It don't never work out for us, ever.
Might as well cut ties. And maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's exactly what Golding did. He went out there and got the wide receivers, you know. And like I say, I think he's already got a decent room already. I'm excited to kind of see what Caleb Cunningham can do.
Yeah.
But again, he was a freshman this last year. And who are you going to take off the field to play him? You know?
I mean,
you just can't. Couldn't take Wallace or Caden Lee. Couldn't do. I mean, just couldn't do it. Well, let's move right on to big story this week. Of course, is the crying of the head coach at Clemson, one Dabo Swinney. Dabo is, of course, claiming that Pete Golding and, by extension, Ole Miss broke tampering rules in contacting the Cal Bears transfer linebacker Luke Farrelly. Farrelly had already signed scholarship papers, had enrolled in classes, and but he had not signed a revenue sharing agreement with Clemson. In an article by Rebels 247 beat writer Chase Palm, he said the following, and I'm quoting Chase here. This is not a dispute. Farrelly got in the portal and signed scholarship papers with the Tigers, showed up on campus and went through some team activities and enrolled in classes. Then he reversed course, returned basically into the portal and signed with Ole Miss. He was in class in Oxford on Friday. Now, we've been hearing all this week by Dabo that he's attended classes at Clemson, but it don't look like he has. Like all he did was from team activities. Not he enrolled, but he didn't go to any classes. So, what do you think, man?
If that's the case, then Dabo just flat out lied. Because I watched his whole press conference, and he said the quote was Pete Golding was texting the kid while he was in class at Clemson. Now, that being said, most of what Dabo said was Holy Ghost gospel truth.
It was.
So
we'd all like to see it go back to that, but it ain't.
Yeah, I can't sit here and just go scorched earth on Dabo, man. He's sticking up for his program. You know, that's what I would want our coach to do.
Yeah, I'm not going to scorched earth on him either, but he's going to scorched earth on us. So
he seems to be, yeah.
But here, basically, while yes, it was tampering, it is just the world we live in now, though, Metal. One that, quite frankly, Dabo Swinney has refused to embrace.
And that's what he's missing. That's the point he's missing.
Also, in that article by Chase, did you read that article?
The one that said Dabo spoke a lot of truths, but he's missing the point. No, I didn't read it.
Here's the number that I like. The Clemson is the best example of a program. Again, this is me quoting Chase. I'm not writing this, obviously. Clemson is the best example of a program that refused to change in the transfer portal era. The Tigers won 2 national titles and didn't lose 3 games in any season from 2015 to 2020. But since the portal appeared, Clemson has lost at least 3 games in every season and went 7-6 in 2025. And that's solely on the fact that Dabo Swinney will not embrace the portal. He will not. And don't get me wrong, me and you hate the portal. Right? We hate the NIL world. We hate the rev share world. But guess what? Is that genie or toothpaste ain't going back in the tube. It's here. And you either embrace it or you just need to frickin' quit. You know, the way I look at it, Dabo Swinney is a coach of a Division I Power 4 conference football team, and he refuses to embrace the only way that these other teams are winning games. Indiana just won a national championship. Indiana ain't sniffed a national championship forever. Yeah. Ole Miss was in the Final Four and took it down to the final minute to be in the team that they had to play for that national championship. And we hadn't been in the national championship talk since 1962.
So
you
now
got to embrace that stuff.
So now what? I mean, what happens? Does this go anywhere? I mean,
he's going to try to push it.
Get in trouble? I mean,
what I got, pretty much here from what I've read and all this, man, we might lose some dadgum scholarships. But is a scholarship worth the fucking paper it's wrote on nowadays with NIL and revenue sharing? These kids don't want a scholarship. They care fucking less about a scholarship.
Yeah.
You know? I mean,
scholarship's pretty much a joke.
Yeah, they can pay their tuition. With it, all we got to do is give them an extra $20,000 in NIL. Yeah, pay their own tuition. I ain't worried about no damn scholarships. So take them away.
No.
Shit, I don't care.
Yeah.
You get a chance to watch the McCready and Siskey. I know you don't. Again, you don't really won't care too much for Neil, but watch the McCready and Siskey from Monday, and he talks about it in there. Siskey does, and I value what Tyler Siskey has to say a lot, and he brings up a point that, quite frankly, I just don't want to say it because it might seem like we're trying to steal the idea. But he thinks he sees football and possibly even basketball at some schools basically breaking away from the NCAA and forming a collective bargaining agreement, and it's going to still be played through the schools, but it's not going to be governed by the NCAA at all. It's a pretty neat podcast if you get a chance to listen to that one.
Yeah.
But pretty much.
I don't see there's any way around a collective bargaining agreement.
It's coming. It's got to come.
Yeah, it's coming, man.
But we got to also do something about this. We got to do something about the unrestricted free agency. That portal cannot be. You can't reset the market every year. Once you sign, look.
Twice a year. You're resetting it every 6 months.
Well, no, because now they're down to one window,
until recently, yeah.
But what I'm saying is now, all right, if we, I would say, all right, let's give them the one free transfer. But once you transfer that time, you're hooked into that school, or you lose eligibility.
That's the way I see it.
That's compromise because I don't even want that. I think you ought to lose eligibility by transferring it all. And Siskey does too. If you listen to that podcast, you lose eligibility if you do. But I am willing to compromise. Give them the one, but not two, not unlimited.
Another thing I don't agree with is you shouldn't be able to transfer to multiple schools before a game is even played.
Yeah, at least once you do, you only get one a year.
I mean, yeah. We're talking about not wanting but one. Shoot, they get more than one within the same season.
Yeah, that took Forelli out.
Within the same cycle.
Yep.
It's so out of control, man. And
it's out of control. And it would be pretty easy to fix if you went to that collective bargaining.
Collective. That's why I'm saying I don't see any way around. Eventually, the collective bargaining, because I think it fixes a lot of the things that we've got a problem with. It's not going to fix everything by a long shot, but still.
Yep. All right, well, that moves us into my last topic here. Basketball. Metal, exactly what you said we couldn't have happened. We lost to Auburn.
Yep.
We lost to both Auburn on Tuesday night and Kentucky Saturday in Lexington.
Both were winnable games. One of them was at home, and that's it. That shuts this season down for basketball. There's no point in pretending otherwise. It's just There are some major misses on this roster. Yeah. Chris Beard has forgot more about basketball than I'll ever know. I'm not here to argue that. But Bubba, you don't gotta be John Wooden to see this product we putting out there is poor. And it's the construction of the roster. That's what it is. We don't have good players. At the risk of just oversimplifying things, we don't have good players. We don't have SEC caliber players. Got a couple, but you can't get it done with a few, man. You've got to have everybody contributes to the winning teams. And we
roll
don't
around 8.
Yeah, I mean we're playing 8 to 10 guys consistently. I mean we play 10 guys a night.
And we've got.
Oh man, I feel myself getting worked up. We've got 6 or 7 guys that could not get minutes on another SEC team.
Yeah.
What a shame.
Made it look a little respectable against Kentucky in their gym, but still lost.
That don't mean nothing to me.
Yeah. We're not here
because
for moral victories.
their team has some problems too. That was it would have took some doing, but we could have got that game. But the one that really gets me is the Auburn game at home. Had a good crowd, man. We were ready. We'd won 3 games in a row. All the momentum in the world, and I'm talking about laid an egg. So disappointing. And there's been some stupid posts on the board this week about basically gutting the basketball program, and does Beard see now that it can't happen here?
That's
What?
we
We were in the Sweet 16 last year.
yeah, just seconds away from making
Yeah, seconds away from making the grade 8. So I don't want to hear all that junk right now. But if we call it like we see it, and hopefully on this podcast, that's
there,
what
metal.
we'll always do. This is a fail for Chris Beard. This season is a fail for Chris Beard. I don't see how anybody objectively could see it any different. And he would be the first one to tell you. I mean, I'm not trying to give some great revelation here. He knows that. But man, wherever the breakdown was on putting this roster together, I hope that system and that process is seriously reevaluated for next year.
Yep. I think I know the post you was talking about, that Bill Four guy. If he's the same guy I thought he was several years ago, he's pretty sharp when it comes to baseball, but obviously he's a little mad right now. He said he's given a lot of money over the last few years, more than any other sport, to basketball. And he said, I've got the worst ROI.
I saw that, but it wasn't just him. It was multiple posters making similar posts. But that guy you're talking about he must be down bad, because he's been a fairly reasonable poster over the years,
He has,
especially on basketball. But man,
he's just down because again, he's living and dying on this season. It was a miss. It's been screwed up. I mean, a dead miss. But the previous 2 seasons was
right. I mean,
so we can't give up just because he got one bad season, man.
No, I mean Beard's already shown he can win here. He's proof of concept, man. We saw it.
Yeah.
That being said, this one is over, buddy. This one is over.
I don't see any way to get to, at least I think we'd have to get to 10 wins to have any kind of a
you got to get
shot.
10 wins, and this team ain't getting no 10 wins, man.
Yeah.
No way.
Not without that Auburn win. We needed it. There was a path.
No way, man. We ain't even played Tennessee and Texas and
Florida.
Are they on the schedule? We ain't even played none Florida's of them. Right. Alabama. Yeah.
Well, okay.
We got pain coming.
Yeah. What else on the board this week? Have you seen anything else on the board that you just weird kind deal? I'll be honest with you, man. We've been preparing for Snowmageddon and over here, and I just hadn't spent a lot of time on the actual boards this week. So
there's been some off the rail stuff on Trinidad, but man, people are just anxious. I get it. I mean, I completely get it, but just, we've sat here and said on this show that there's no world where he's not our quarterback next year, but you're still a little worried. You know what I mean?
Yep. We just want to get
the final word.
Yep. No more than
I'll be nervous until number 6 trots out there on the first play against Louisville in Nashville. I'll be nervous until that happens.
Ambrose is going to want that to happen. We ought to plan to go to that game. That'd be a good trip to go to.
Yeah, I've already thought about that.
Spend some time in Nashville,
We're going to need a wellness check on Ambrose if this thing falls through with Trinidad.
Yeah, somebody's got to go check on him. But one thing I did see on the board and I wanted to bring up, but I do have a question. And I know this question is going to be somewhat controversial, but we need to know, and we need to know right here, right now on this Rebel Nation Conversation, episode 16. Single pile nachos or single nachos or pile?
There's no other way but singles, man. It's I know we're opening up a lot of controversy, like you said, but it's got to be nacho singles.
Yep, yeah, yeah.
That's the hill I'll die on.
I just kind of got upset at that one poster, man, that brought that where you put that in there. Literally getting on to Siski for saying legitly.
Yeah, I usually start the nacho deal on just a stupid thread where somebody was just, yeah.
I mean, again, if he's writing an article, yeah, we want to see proper grammar. I mean, even I know be able to tell that ain't a word. But if we're in a podcast, it's literally the spoken word. I don't care how you say it, as long as I understand the point you're trying to get across to me. Slang is perfectly acceptable to me. Yeah. I'm fine with that, and he always says that. That's just kind of like him. If you watched him a lot, he goes, "How about that?" a lot. I mean, that's just the way he expresses himself, and I don't care. You know how I am. I like Siski. So anyway, that's why I had to bring that up. The only other thread, golly, the stupidity. I knew when I opened the damn thread about the freaking moon landing. I said,
about
fixing the moon landing.
Did
we? Yeah, I said, I know better. I know better than to click on this son of a bitching thread, but I did.
Well, there's another one on there about the ice stuff in Minnesota that'll probably raise your blood pressure too, but
yeah.
I got in that one for a minute, and then I just back right on out because that's a no win, man. It's
absolutely
people are dying, and that's bad.
Yeah. Well, anyway, that pretty much does it for this episode. Unless you've got some other things you want to discuss.
Man, we'll pick it up next week. Not a lot going on, I guess, in Rebel Sports this week other than basketball. Women's basketball had a good win Thursday night, and this will be airing on Monday morning, so we've got a game tonight versus Tennessee. That's a big one. If we can get that win, that'll keep the momentum going for sure. But Lady Reb's kind of carrying us through right now.
Yeah, in basketball. Well, hopefully we'll have some word by next week on Trinidad.
That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah, that gives us a little bit of content to discuss, and if not, we'll break off and start talking about rock bands and shit like that. So
and we got baseball coming up.
Yep,
pretty quick too. So
it'll be 2 weeks from now when I plan on having my buddy Dump going to come on and talk.
Yeah.
So not next Sunday, but the Sunday next, because that'd be the week before the first weekend. So
yeah.
Well, all right. That pretty much wraps up episode 16. If you like what we're putting out there, please subscribe, like, and share. And as always, comment. Let us know what you think we can do better. Please come back on next week and for episode 17. But for right now, for myself, hotty toddy, Rebel fans.
Hotty toddy.